Hello, beautiful people. We are here in the studio for another interesting edition of Roundtable with Tiro Says. Clap, clap, clap. Okay, and today we are going to be talking about childhood trauma. I believe that every Nigerian has childhood trauma. I don't care how you were raised, where you were raised. Everyone has one form of trauma or the other that I think that we need to do something about before we are adults, because all the things that are presenting, to us as adults or our behavior as adults are a function of these traumas that we went through as children. But in this part of the world, I don't think people believe in trauma or childhood trauma or something. Just okay. People don't even believe in depression, so how would they believe in childhood? Like when they say you are depressed, they say you don't have money, go and eat better food. But it is actually a thing. Just like childhood trauma is a thing. So today we are going to be talking about it and how it affects us as adults. Okay, so of course, let me introduce my guests in the house before we go deeper. Where should I start from?
Ladies first.
After me. What's your ladies first? So
Hi everyone, my name is Precious Edmond.
I'm sure you guys know already.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Emmanuel.
And our Lord.
That we hear. Hotel.
His Lordship. Okay, so I'm going to be starting by talking about the different types of trauma. Of course, we already know about physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. There's a thing as emotional abuse. I know a lot of people are just into sexual abuse, physical abuse. They don't really think about emotional abuse, and I feel like emotional abuse is even worse than physical abuse. It is worse, and then you don't really see it, so you can't quickly identify it in someone. It's until it has gotten overboard or the person starts presenting some signs or symptoms of it that you now know that something has happened to this person. So a lot of people neglect that. And then the last one is there's neglect. It's also a form of abuse. All those children that are neglected, no mother, no father, and even if they are present, they are not present in the sense that no care, nobody to turn to another. All those children that instead of going to school, they are hawking, or their parents are just not present. Some are not even hawking. Some are even staying in the homes with their mother and father, but they are still neglected. No care whatsoever. And when you now talk to the parents will be like, okay, I'm trying to fend for the family. I'm going out in the morning, coming back at night. But at the end of the day, you now ask yourself, why are you going out in the morning and coming back at night? You will say for your family. But then the family is going astray. The children are going astray. They don't have what is really needed, relationship and all that. So that is a form of abuse on its own. And then we have violence. People don't talk about this a lot, but violence is a form of abuse. And I'm not even talking about like physical violence that you experience from home, maybe your parents beating you and all that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about you experiencing something something catastrophic as a child. Maybe you witnessed your parents being killed. Maybe you were in an accident. Maybe you were in all these disasters or all these riots. You found yourself in the middle of all this war or something like that. That is also a form of abuse, And these things, as children, especially as Africans, when something happens to us, we just shake body. We just shake body, and then that's it. And the next day we are back to normal. We are going about our normal things, going to school, doing whatever, getting married. And then when you now get married or when you are now adults, these things will start coming back to you, in different behaviors, in different things. So that was what we are going to be talking about today. So Dapuye, do you want to kick us or start us off?
Yeah, well, it's something serious, and like you rightly said, we tend to want to cover it up, shake it off. So I realized human beings, what runs through your adulthood is what you learn from 1 to 6, I think. So if you are going through all these ills at that time, it's going to stick, and eventually affect later years. Things like, maybe for instance now, like slow learners, like when you're in school, maybe you're not doing right, you can't read, they'll start yabbing you. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that kind of thing. And then instead of taking this head on, you start to shy away from these things.
Yeah.
So when this is my own personal experience actually, right? So when you start shying away from these things, when you see where people are reading, you run because you don't want to be embarrassed. Instead of like these things, nobody fell from heaven with it. Like we get to learn. Okay?
Yeah.
So because I'm slow and somebody else is faster, I'll feel that I'm deficient or I'm something. But
You could be dyslexic.
what do you say?
Dyslexic.
Well, I don't like all those plenty
All
grammar.
those grammar.
yes, because I believe that you can learn whatever you put your mind to.
Yes,
Definitely.
you
That's
can.
what I believe. So if I had this mind that time, it won't be a problem. So I started reading and coming out of my shell when I was in the university.
Okay.
Even till now, you will not catch me trying to read for the public. That kind of thing. So it's still there. And that is a problem. This is what we should tackle from that early age.
Yeah.
And then again, the responsibility lies on the parents.
Yeah.
For the most part. So that's why I'm of the opinion that before you bring a child into this world, you have to be ready yourself. So all those things where they talk say, oh, marry early so that you born your children.
You have
I
to
don't
be
subscribe to
mentally
that.
ready.
I am of the opinion that you should be equipped first
Yeah.
before you bring another human being so you can impact.
But
So-
it doesn't really have to do with age. It could be equipped at a young age.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If that equipment they dependent on your parents.
Exactly. I
Eh,
want to say it depends from
That's
your
that's
home.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
the
saying.
home
That's
it
what I'm
came out
saying. So
from.
the point is that's fundamental parents part. You have to be equipped before you are bringing in someone else, so that when you see all these behaviors, you can say, "Oh, this is this thing. My son, come, or my daughter, come. Go at it like this. Go at it like." I think we'll have a better world like that.
But I also believe that we are all flawed.
Of course,
We are all flawed. I don't think there's anywhere you can be coming from, no matter how stable the home can be. There will still be something. There will still be something lacking because there's no how. Because we are human beings, so we are not perfect.
Yeah.
There's no
And
perfect home.
There's no perfect home. Exactly. That's what there's no perfect home. And that's why they say that as adults, there's some form of unlearning and relearning
Yeah.
that you need to do. So you need to unlearn some things from your background or childhood that you know that may not be relevant in your future,
Yeah.
and then relearn what you need to. And that's why people say, oh, no, this I grew up like this. I don't want my kids to grow up like this.
Yeah.
I experienced this. I don't want kids to
Yeah.
experience that because it's like a refining. It's supposed to keep getting better, and better. But
So the idea of perfection in any sphere of life is an illusion.
exactly.
You understand? As a human, your biology is not perfect.
Yeah.
Your right leg long past your left leg, or as the
Exactly,
case may
exactly.
be. You cannot draw a perfect circle. It's not your nature. So we have to rock this. So once you're trying to strive for perfection, that's a flaw on its own.
On its own, yeah.
So there's that, right?
Mm.
But the idea of raising a home, that's why it's two people involved, two adults, so you can compliment for my lapses and I can compliment. So in that mix, there's a sort of stability, to enable for the youngins to, learn. Sometimes the trauma is not even coming from your own personal experience. When you see how your both parents are acting towards each other,
Exactly.
it hits you.
Yeah, and that's what I say about people that are in toxic marriages and relationships, and they're like, I'm staying there because of my kids. I'm like, you are even doing the kids a disfavor because they are seeing. They are seeing that. So it's better you are apart and then you are giving your best than being together and being toxic because they are actually seeing what you think they are not seeing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to share?
I think I'm going to talk about parenting, just like what you said.
being in an abusive or toxic relationship or marriage, it really affects the children in future. I know someone that her dad will always scream, for no reason. He might just come back from work and then he'll just start screaming, start yelling at everyone in the house. And they didn't like it. Of course, nobody liked it in the house. But when she grew up, she had that thing in her. When she goes to a place and then they're screaming, it might not even be like they're yelling, just noise.
They are raising their voice.
Yeah, they're probably raising their voices and they're just talking. She'll walk out. And then she'll be like, no, I don't feel good. It feels like I just want to run. I just want to go crazy and all of that. Until she was able to tell me, this was how I was brought up. And I said, I think you need help. Yeah, you need to see a therapist. Talk to them. You probably get over it. So I'll strongly advise people in toxic marriages or relationships to please consider the children. Especially if you have children, maybe in a toxic marriage, consider your children. It's best you walk out and don't allow them grow up with things like that because it affects them a lot. It causes low self-esteem.
Yeah, exactly.
You won't be able to talk or speak where other people are. You're always inside your shell. You don't want to come out. So things like that are not really nice. Yeah.
Okay. Emmanuel.
Well, the topic of trauma is deep. And some things that we don't regard as trauma actually fall in that category. Because trauma is basically anything that hurts you and changes the way you react to others or do some certain things.
Yeah.
So it's very broad. It's deeper than we think. And if we are going to start from the parenting aspect, I'm not a parent, so I can't be criticizing what I can do yet right now. But I think the origin of trauma is mostly from the home.
Yeah,
mostly.
Exactly. It's from
Not
home.
always, but mostly.
Mostly, yeah.
So there are cases where they don't see it as anything is wrong. Like for instance now, a male child just goes up to know that he's the alpha male.
Yeah.
He's not meant to be emotional. That's trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. It is trauma.
That's
Yeah.
the wrong way to.
Yeah, to bring up a child.
A very negligible
Yeah.
trauma. He's very neglected. That's why you see a man is going through heaven and earth at the office. He come back home. His wife is asking, what's wrong? He thinks telling her is weakness.
Yeah.
Exactly, and he say nothing.
And she thinks they are drifting apart.
Yes.
Because he does not feel it is normal to talk to his wife. Or it's normal to talk to his girlfriend. That is trauma.
Or to be vulnerable.
Sometimes when these men open up, the women maybe run away or judge them. Like, this guy is too soft.
They are not used to it. That's why.
Yeah. It's because of what you said. It came to me because I'm just following up what you said. Like sometimes the people want to open up, but then they'll be like, be a man. You're a man.
Why are you complaining?
Exactly. Why you are too emotional for a man?
Exactly.
I get that a lot. I get that a lot.
Conditioning
Like
too.
you're too. It's okay to cry. My
It
guy.
is okay. It is very, very
so-
okay. In fact, I usually appreciate it when I see a man expressing emotion because you should.
Yeah.
You should express emotion. When you are sad, be sad. When you feel like crying, you cry. When you need a hug, you say you need a hug. You are human. You are not any superman, and it does not remove from your masculinity
At all.
You are still a man, but then you still have emotions, and that's what's killing a lot of men. And that's why it seems that they say that men are dying. Men die before the women. That the women, the mothers, they have their children, but the men, it seemingly seems like they are alone. They can't share their troubles, and they are the one running up and down to provide and all that. But then they can't talk to anybody. They have no one. I've actually heard a man say that I have no one. I'm alone in this world because I'm the man. Because so everybody is depending on me.
Yeah.
I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to be this. Not just even provide this, but I have to be this. I have to be the strong one. I have to be there for everybody. I have to be the shoulder. I have to be, it's going to be there for me.
It's a mindset.
It is a mindset.
You can be a provider and a protector and still be emotional.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we're trying to be.
Yeah.
But what that person is experiencing is the societal standard for men.
Exactly.
So that's where the problem is. We now are trying to break all of these things. I'm trying to be in contact with my feminine side. I've been doing this for years. That's why I wear scarf sometimes. I wear, I'm trying to
And
wake
you will
up.
not be judged and called
Anybody that want to judge
Never is so
you
very
understand?
scarf. Wow.
They no go law school. They want to judge me. So yeah. But these are the things. See, this is the only way we heal our society, right? First off, we have to all these meaningless constructs. We have to bring them down.
Yeah.
And we have to be human. You get what I mean? So all this, the way society has some things that hinder women, that's how
They
it
have
does
for
to
men
men.
to,
But
yeah.
we do not talk about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't talk about
We
it
don't
because
talk about
we feel, that's why I say that when a set of people or even one person says something and then a lot of people tend to believe and then you keep believing, over time it will become law.
Truth, yeah.
Yes, it becomes the truth that's the way it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, it just started with somebody's opinion and thinking, and then everybody now accepted it as that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, your opinion does not have to work for me.
Yeah.
Just like his does not have to. Everybody has their own opinions and the way they want to be.
Sorry, before we leave this particular topic about men being emotional, I don't know if you can remember, I think it was early this year, a gospel artist had a show and then his wife, he had that show in Nigeria. His wife is in the UK and then, she made a video and was talking, saying good things about him. I'm so proud of you and all of that. And then there was another guy beside him and then he just goes, oh. And people were like, okay, what's that?
What's happening here?
I said, man, why did you do that?
Exactly.
And in my head, I'm like, okay, he's human. I mean, okay, what if he had done that to a lady beside him? You could shift the whole thing and say,
Say,
why are you not
exactly,
doing it? So all of those things should stop.
Yeah, so
are
they feel
not
like, okay,
emotional.
exactly, that you're not supposed to show emotion. Even if in times like that, you do, yes, thank you. You should not be vulnerable. And that's word, vulnerable. It's a big one. A lot of men don't like to be vulnerable. He just wants to, just hold it in, just
I
hold
feel
it
like
in.
you cannot.
And they also say it's an African thing. They'll tell you, be a man.
Be a man, yes.
Man.
Even parents do it.
A lot of them.
They
You
do
see all
it
this-
to their sons, when they stop it, be a man. What do you don't cry?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
somebody beat you from school. You are
Or maybe you
down,
down.
you are
We
finished.
started when the kids are even young, like
Yeah.
a year, 2 years. When a boy child falls down, you see the parents will be like, get up, you're a man, don't
You are
cry.
a man.
And then go to I mean, he wants to cry deep down. Please allow that child cry.
African homes, when the child cries, when the child falls down, everybody will now look. They say, don't
Don't-
Don't look at him, don't look at him. Don't worry, you get-
It's true. Don't shout.
We shall just leave and
who want to cry? I'm
You just start looking like, why is everybody acting strange?
Please, let's just be human and stop all this labeling. Don't cry, don't shout, and then woman too. You can't be. Why are you doing like a man? Why you should be soft. You should be doing it. You should be. that you should stop all this labeling.
like-
I even heard one recently. Somebody said, when you are in labor, that when you shout, you feel, as a woman, you are in labor. When you cry, you feel the pain. When you don't cry, you won't feel the pain.
Na so.
Is it not better to just hold it?
Na
I said,
so.
it can never be me, no vex.
As
I
that
still
way-
cry when they give me injections. Yeah, I'm
Before.
gonna get anywhere because I don't like it. Pain is pain. I really don't care what you. I cry. I need to show you that I'm hurt. This thing is paining me. But let me
Exactly.
cry and feel better. So what do you mean by if you cry, the labor pain will stay? I will
Please,
cry.
that person that said it, that's the person going through labor.
Yes.
And we are different.
And I'm like, that's
We are
you.
different. So
Please,
that's
what
you
you
exactly. We express ourselves differently. You're going to say something.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, now, so I want us to talk about at least the most common types of abuse that I mentioned: the physical, sexual, emotional, and all that. So I want us to start with physical abuse. And of course, this is going to start from the home, And I know that a lot of people back this thing up with spare the rod and spoil the child, And then there's also one part that says there's foolishness in the heart of the child, the word of correction. You wipe them out. I've used it. I've used that verse several times. But I've now realized that, some of this abuse, some of these things that we call discipline, training, and all that, it is actually abuse. Okay, so although I know that in this part of the world, we like to say that, okay, the people in the western part of the world, that their children are spoiled and all that because they don't beat them, because they don't cane them and all that. But really, if you will see some and you know that, oh, this person was trained right.
Yeah.
And then some of us here too, that we were caned and flogged, and some people, when after caning you, they will now put pepper. Tell me how that is training. Tell me. They will cane you. Your skin will open. They will now put pepper. Or they will deliberately open, use blade. Say you don't want me to rest me. It's me that will kill you. And then put pepper. And then you will see that even those exactly
Because no campaign will be picking never feel right.
Exactly. So you now see those kind of children, you are thinking that they'll come out right. They will not come out right. And then you see other people too that they didn't cane them or whatever, and they come out right. So I think this coming out right really does not have to do with caning, because people that they don't cane, you see them come out right, and I just believe that those that will come out right will come out right. Sometimes as a parent, what you can do is your best. If that child has signed parts with the devil, like the Bible says, nothing you can do. The Bible says some people were created for destruction. Now God talk, I will not be me. So there are some people that no matter what you do, this child, now so it go be. And then there are some that you'll be wondering that, wow, I don't think I'm so great a parent like that. But see this child, anyway, I'm proud that it was like this child was well brought up, and you be like, what be me do Amuna? God. Exactly. So, this caning. Sometimes I feel like as parents, because we are overwhelmed, and like I said, we didn't bring manna from heaven
at all.
So
There's
all these
really
things,
no manual.
there's no manual. All of us, we are just trying this thing for the first time, and I know that as being a parent trust me, it can be overwhelming. And then sometimes you just want to pour that frustration, like you wish sometimes it's not for the correction, it's because of your anger, your venting. Like there's this story I tell about my daughter. When she was still in secondary school, junior secondary to be precise, and we just changed school and changed house and all that. So the school was not far from the home. So I used to take her every morning. But there's a place that you cross. You cross the road, and that is why I take her every morning. So I was trying to win her, that after a while you do that yourself. So the road, you have to cross this part and this part. There's what's that thing called? Demarcation kind of, So this particular day during our winning process, I crossed that to this part. So it was ready for her to cross to this part. And my daughter crossed in front of a moving vehicle. And I just died there. There are those things that happen to you that there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like, you are just
the shock.
Yes, dead in time, just in shock. You can't do anything because you really can't do anything because the thing is happening before your eyes. It's not that I can just quickly. There's nothing you can do. You are just. I was just like, excuse me, and the people were like, hey, oh, how Nigerians can be something that does not
dramatic.
Yeah, it's very, very dramatic. Hey, oh, and I just stood, and my daughter did not even look back. And the car, did not hit her. Luckily, he was able to stop. But after a while, I now found out, thinking about it in hindsight or everything, I now realized that okay, she actually had problems with crossing the road. I still have problems with crossing the road as an adult at time like this. I always tell people I'm a village person when it comes to crossing. I can stay in one place 30 minutes. Some plenty people have crossed. I'm still waiting.
You wait for all the
so let me be sure that so I'm not surprised that she had problems with crossing too. There are times I'm going to cross and I'm feeling dizzy. Yes, I'm feeling dizzy. Like, I'll just brave it sometimes. I just cross. Not because I will try, let me try to cross. If you go into let me. So I think that was her case. But I didn't see it like that then. She crossed. Do you know what I did?
Yeah.
After my shock, I crossed. I went to her school. She just crossed, then entered the school. The school was just across the road. I went to her school. She had entered class. I told them to call her for me. They went upstairs. They called her. She came to me. I slapped her. Why? Why? And I went. Tell me.
You just wanted to relieve
I'm
yourself.
telling you. That was not correction in any way. That was me venting.
That was
That was
wrong.
me pouring out my frustration. That was me, you know,
And
like
the only person you could use was your
because she
daughter,
was the one now.
the one.
I stepped out, he, and I just went back home. With my house, I'm thinking, Jesus, thank you. What could that be? You know, that kind of thing. But then, that is not training. And sometimes that is what we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes your child is crying, crying, and keep quiet. Stop, and the child will not cry. Why? I even see some people on the road, the child will fall down instead of, you will carry the child.
I was going to say
Nami,
exactly
go
this.
wire.
I saw one woman the other day, right? This is a child, let's say like 4-year-old or 6, between. They were on the road, you know, she was busy doing something else, and the child
Exactly, you
just
are not even
walked
concentrating on
away
the
to the road
child.
and almost got hit by a car and was shouting. The next thing, you see the slap with this
Now
woman.
slap oh.
I was so mad.
But why?
I went to
Africa,
know this
now
woman,
slap.
how irresponsible and reckless she is. Now she's supposed to chop this slap.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
This is a child.
Yes.
If this your pikin start to behave like adult, you no go wrong. Saying go tell you, say, mommy, don't go this side, they this side. You no go wrong. You. Do you understand? So you're the protector. It's not the other way around. If
Exactly.
to say this pikin gets in own way, as you born, I ain't go away.
Of course.
Do you understand? So like what you said. I mean,
You
it's
know,
not-
so sometimes like that, we pour out our frustration on the child. Like instead of correcting, we actually pour out
you
frustration.
see why you need to be matured before you have a child.
Exactly.
If not, all those your frustration where they come from your own childhood,
Put am on top the pikin.
child,
Yeah.
and then the child will grow up with, and now low self-esteem.
Yeah.
They come from your house.
Yes. Yes.
Anything you say, shut up, shut
Okay,
up,
shut up.
and there's no, they kill your creativity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, so when you go amongst people, you
You
cannot
can't talk. You
Express
can't
yourself.
express
yourself.
yourself.
That's
You
the
know,
one.
You go just
it's,
be
it's, a
there.
real,
Especially-
it's a real thing because
It
I used
is.
to say that. I think that happened to me. I used to say that. I even used to tell my kids a lot because they say I shout. My voice is too loud. I shout.
Oh, yeah.
Mommy, why are
Yeah.
you shouting? Why are you shouting? I hear you. Why are you shouting? Well, I said when I was young, I was shut up. My mom used to practice because I think I used to talk a lot. You know, I think I used to talk a lot. I don't know, but my mom, I remember vividly. In fact, there's a photograph to show when on my younger brother's naming ceremony. That photograph was just, I was like,
Yes.
Hold your
you know
lips.
that time. That's what they say. Hold your
Hold your
lips.
lips.
If I hear,
Ping.
hold your lips. I'm telling you the picture. That's how it was in the picture. And I said, you see.
It even
It's
works.
not even good to lie. You see the picture. And I even, you know, every time I see that picture, I remember the scene.
Oh.
I remember it.
Whereas your parents now supposed to see where you are now. You are in the media space.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're supposed to see that thing. That's
And
what,
that's
like
it.
sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes growing up and
Exactly.
analyze the relationship between my father and I and things, I'll ask myself, but now me supposed to be the picking here. How can I see this at that age and you can see?
You can see.
Like, I don't get the dynamics. But then again, you said something that I like, that you're not a parent yet, so you can't.
Yes.
Yes, but my own position is from the child's position. So I'm looking,
Yes.
like, this thing's supposed to happen like this. I did see other people, for Christ's sake. You get me? And now while I don't grow, I'm seeing that you're supposed to do it like this and like this. So fundamentally, it's the home.
Yes.
Yes. And you know
It
that
is the
sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, we feel as adults, we feel that the children basically don't have sense. Like they don't have,
Actually,
they don't have,
that's-
the thing is-
yes, that they don't
the
have
thing
what
is-
they are thinking. They don't know anything. But really,
That's
it's not
another.
true.
That's
It's a
another
matter of personality.
It's a serious
personality.
misconception.
Children. When there's this saying I heard, I've forgotten where I picked it up. He said, when a child comes into your life, it's not a time to teach; it's a time to learn. You know why?
Yes, you should.
You have
also
to
be
learn.
learning
Those
from each
children are coming with distinct characteristics.
Yes.
other. Exactly.
So you should study them. When you see, don't shut up and slap them and do like this.
Yeah.
study them. What are their strengths? What are this one sabi talk? Oh.
Yes.
He go do mass comm,
Yeah.
or he go do linguistics. So this one like to scatter and toy. He must be an engineer. As against, I did not become a lawyer. You must one lawyer must be in our family.
Exactly. And not two children are the same.
Yeah.
All
You
these
say,
things.
see your brother. You know,
Yes.
that is not even good.
See,
You know, comparing
see,
children is very
I'm
bad.
sorry to put this in now, but I mean, it happened, right? They did it to me growing up with my younger sister. Person who I seen her like 6 years. You know, and I said it before, I was slow learning, right? Growing up. But she's like pro max of me. Like, you know, and me, all those times, I've been like all those things. It fascinates me to see her. But then they'll say, can't you see this person? That thing now will come to breed animosity.
Yes.
Before you know, you don't dey hate on this person.
Exactly.
You don't dey hate on. I feel like, well, as my name implies, Dapuye, I feel like my ancestors are with me. Yes, so something I just understand, even without thinking. I dropped my English name without being conscious. It did not just go well. So those things, I see that these people are trying to set me with this person. Oh, I won't go this way. You know, like I see these things.
Yeah.
I was seeing these things growing up. So I'm asking myself, if I feel see am, why you waste?
Why can't you see it?
I mean, and there's another thing. The fruit doesn't fall far from
From
the
the
tree.
tree, yeah.
So if you're picking, they do like Chris person.
Crazy.
Now you or your wife, they Chris.
family.
Do you understand?
Somehow.
Yes, or the extended family.
Yes, it could be the ancestors.
Exactly.
Sometimes these things skip a generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you say, what kind of child is this? Is the kind you made.
Exactly.
Do you get me? So like, now responsibility thing. You know, everybody needs, the parents needs to be responsible, the child as well. So no, all those things where picking with the pass, they greet you good afternoon. Say, come here, can't you call me sir?
Yeah.
It's not about all of those
Can't
things.
you call me
The thing is mindset. We have the African nation. In
That's what I, no, that's not African. Now the impression I want
that-
correct. You
yes,
said it
now,
earlier.
That's the thing.
They always say,
That's what they
Exactly.
That's what
say.
they portray as African.
Exactly.
they always,
That's in Africa, na so.
see, they always want to say everything backward and primitive. is
Okay, now
African.
hold on first. Before you proceed, in a workplace here, if I call my boss by his first name, in a not so multinational workplace, I might get a query that day
If you
Why?
call your boss,
by his first name.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, but over there they call them by their first
Well,
name.
first names,
see,
and not supposed to be a
what I'm
problem.
saying is that what people call African thing for the last 500 years is not African thing.
Is what?
I
It
understand
is-
what you're trying to say,
it
but
is
there are
European
some things that are
infusion.
no.
See,
Disrespect to
see,
no
let me tell you what
Not be
African
European.
thing is. The African thing is I see the divine in you. The divine in me recognizes divine in you. Whether you are a child or you are an elder,
Okay.
the divine are the divine. This is the see,
We divide it.
see, this is the African ideology I know and I identify with. Right? It's something they call Ubuntu in South Africa. The divine in me sees the divine in you. So if we see ourselves like that, already there is respect. I don't need to come and call you sir and ma. I feel still the dobale for you, still the disrespect.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is the ignorance.
So the African thing is the morals, the principles, the values, not all those other.
respect is part
They
of those
painted it
values.
white.
It's exactly
Respect is part of those values.
Respect doesn't necessarily mean that I say, I meet an elderly woman, ask her how are you, she go the verse. Why you asking me how are you?
Respect is when you see an elderly woman prostrate and carry a bag.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the respect.
That's the way they portray respect.
Whether you know how
That's
or
not how
not.
it's supposed to
Whether you know or not, if you see a woman on the road, you carry. If you are
See.
in a public bus and you
And
see an old one, you're
stand
sitting
up
down.
and
That's it, na
They
normal
will say
morals.
you don't have the
Na
exactly.
normal.
That's what we're
See,
saying.
in our African society, me, I will always say, I'm an African, Pan-African, I'll carry it on my head, and everybody should know. We reverence women. You know, if you work out for a woman, it's not about winning her or anything sexual. We need to correct all these things. Everything we think in our thing, na European thing. In my language, they sing traditional song, but if you listen to the lyrics of the traditional song, in my language, now Jesus they praise. That's what I'm trying to say. They've bamboozled everything. They'll come and tell you all this African. That is not how it used to be. We know they spare the rod and spoil the child is a metaphoric thing. It's not literal. How you want to carry?
Exactly.
How you want carry
You
rod?
like saying it now.
How you want carry rod?
But,
They beat
but
person.
you see, that is why we. I don't know if it's as Africans or whatever, but you know that thing is quoted many times.
The thing is,
to justify
those
that.
that interpret
It's not just Africa.
We're not very
The Bible
diligent.
justified slavery. Is it Africans that did it? Your God showed you how to treat your slaves, but everybody's supposedly equal. There's contradictions there, man. It was the first pope and the queen that sanctioned the slavery business. Turned to another human being to
How would they
merchandise.
enter Bible now?
Na moral.
How would
yeah,
they enter
yeah.
the Bible?
We still
Na
talking about
moral.
morals.
Na the same thing. Na the same
Of course
thing.
we will.
Now the
Of
same
course,
thing.
of course.
This thing we call religion is the fundamental of our existence. It is embedded in the fabric of everything we're doing. You just
Yeah.
said here that God said something. It's not you, but God said. But when that we talk, no problem. Do you get what I mean?
I
So
don't think religion is the problem.
Religion is a very big problem in
Let me-
In
Nigeria.
this regard, religion
let
is
me tell you why. Let me tell you
in this
why.
regard,
Religion is a
regard.
problem in
Let me
in
tell
this
you why.
regard,
Let me tell you
yes.
why. Let me tell
Yes,
you why. Let me tell
okay.
you why. What governs the man is his culture.
What
Exactly.
governs
And
the
his
man?
religion.
Listen.
A man rules his
Allow me
home
to land.
by
Allow me
his,
to land.
you know, by his religion and all that.
What governs a man is his culture. What's in your culture?
Yeah.
Norms and traditions and
Exactly.
way of living
Yeah.
and bylaws on how to interrelate with yourself and nature and your language. So your language is integral. Your language will not be just sound. They carry codes and things. So there are some things you say in Yoruba you cannot say in English.
True.
No.
Yeah.
So those things guide the way you live with
And the way you
yourself
behave, yes.
and the environment. People they take out the environment part is important,
No.
right? So once your culture has been adulterated, they don't take your language away from you. They don't take all those your folktales saying that demon, take away. You'll be bamboozled. You've lost it now. You're doing somebody else's thing. I did hear they try to speak good English, but I'm not from England.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now offside already, you cannot do this more than the Englishman.
No.
So these are the problems. So now we're trying to be Western. Fela said it. If you call an African woman, she go say I be lady. It's not just the song, it's the mindset.
No.
So we don't throw away that our thing. They carry wazungu something. You understand? They put for it. So you will never get it right. That's my point.
I disagree with you on some things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It is not.
It's
It is not
fine.
religion. What makes a man behave the way he does is his experiences and his exposure.
Waiting the experience and waiting they're exposed to your culture.
What's inside your experience and
Spirituality.
Your
exposure?
experience is
See,
dependent on wherever you grew
spirituality.
up, whatever you do, where you grew up.
Spirituality.
So it's not necessarily
it is your
culture.
culture that is all those things.
How? This
Now your
how
culture
do
they
you want
create
I refuse to use the word culture. I'll say way of life.
You cannot come way of life like the culture
What's
now.
inside that way of life?
Culture can be like culture. That word culture is ambiguous. You can mean a lot of things to different people. That's
No,
why I said
not really. Let me define it. Let me narrow it. And this is the definition. Really, culture now your way of life, the way you eat, the way you dress, the way
Yes.
you interact with people.
yes.
So Ibibio man way they different from
Yoruba man.
Samba man, exactly.
two different cultures.
Yes.
Do you understand?
So now-
They are doing the same fundamental thing. How to interrelate with each other and interrelate to the
The reason why I brought that out is because you kind of interrelated culture and religion. So
Your
that's why I was
spirit-
bringing out culture and saying it's a way of
Your
life.
spirituality
Then
lies in
religion
the
is-
core of your culture, brother. Your spirituality lies in the core.
That is the way they decide to worship. In
Your
that particular
spirituality
environment.
lies in the core of your. You see, now only we will be Africans. They follow spirituality. We know they like us. We know look like us. The Hindu man checking statue,
Yeah, true.
get facial features.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
The
that's
European,
true.
Jesus looks like them.
Have you seen Jesus before?
No, I'm saying the
But for most
depiction.
people, the
Like
Jesus in their house.
I'm saying
praise.
the-
Who they do?
Nobody said that.
I'm
Jesus.
saying
That's
the-
just-
Oh, really?
I'm
and
saying-
it looks like
That's not
And people
Jesus.
pray to
See,
that.
brother,
And people pray to that.
that's
People pray to
that's
that.
not
That's
that's
not religion.
that's not Jesus. Yes, my
That's not
main
Jesus.
point is whatever it is, it looks like them. That's my main
Exactly.
point. I
How
know
are
why
you
you
sure
waiting
that
be.
that is him? That it looks like him?
No, you don't
That's
understand
what
the
they are
point
brought to
now.
you as
You don't
him.
understand the point.
That's what they
If
brought
me
you as
and
him.
you go inside all the churches, now one image we go see.
Exactly.
Have you also noticed
It's
that
not what
every
make you go
Jesus
see.
movie,
Yeah.
every kind of Passion of Christ, different
rest my
version,
case.
different whatever, they use a similar kind of face.
Exactly.
People are forgetting something.
And he's a white man.
And it's a white
This
person. And that's
movie
the
was
picture
written
we
by a
can see.
man.
I know.
Brother,
They describe a man he has not seen before.
brother, see what I'm
You have
trying to
not
say.
seen it.
I have not seen the man
You're using
before.
a particular face every time. We use
See,
this particular image
if
every
we
time.
go outside
In
and
movies,
call
they look for somebody that
100
looks like that
people.
person.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And tell them to show
To
me
draw
Jesus.
Jesus for you.
They will give you one.
All those 100 black people on the streets of Lagos will bring out one European.
Okay,
One white man.
Before we
Exactly.
started,
One
I
white
said
man.
someone,
Before I
I
agree
called
with
you
you.
Jesus.
Before I agree,
Yes.
Exactly.
before I agree with you, let me ask you another scenario now.
Yes,
If
please.
you move outside and 100 people think you are gay, are you gay?
Don't do that.
Do I look gay?
It's not the
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If I start to wear dress, if I start to wear dress,
Yeah.
That look,
crop top, ring from nose, we go here.
let's just say you
And
have
you
a
call me
weird.
gay is justified.
Let's just say you have a weird fashion sense and they call you gay. Does that mean you are gay?
I look gay.
Yeah, you
No,
might look
wait,
gay,
but
but
how
you're
does
not
that
gay.
relate?
No, I'm trying to
It's
say
not
doesn't.
the same.
It
people's
doesn't.
opinion does not necessarily mean that's the truth. That's what I'm going to.
My brother,
What has
I'm
been
saying
embedded?
that there's
If you call a
white
5-year-old now and say
Jesus.
Jesus, and you are able to see the mind of that child, you will see the Jesus.
Now white
Yeah.
Jesus.
That guy.
No, me, I'm just saying nobody has seen Jesus, yeah.
Exactly the point.
Yes,
But then
yes.
Nobody has
there's
seen
somebody
Jesus.
that's
But
been
there's an
portrayed.
image of
There's
Jesus.
an image.
Of course, you can't
that's
deny
what I'm
that.
saying.
I have the logic to question that image.
That's you.
If there was nothing, you won't
That's
question
you.
shit. My point is
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
something for you
Yes.
to question.
Yes, I'm
Now that
questioning
thing where they question and they point out.
Okay, so,
So
that
it is
means
not-
just like they say in the court, alleged Jesus.
That's
So you have to use the word alleged.
You see that's in that trauma.
So alleged.
Say Jesus look like somebody else and Satan look like me. You don't traumatize.
Exactly.
See, you've traumatized
Exactly.
my
You now say how
spirit.
does Satan look? He's black.
You say
now.
he's black.
Now the
Black.
worst,
He has
now
one.
the worst
He has
trauma
one.
of
He has-
all.
Okay.
They traumatized me.
Let's go back to the topic, please.
I brought it home. They have traumatized me spiritually
Exactly.
to think that I am the devil. My guy, growing up, I used to be angry of my skin color.
Yeah, because
I did tell you,
because we
real,
say it as
like
if you are a black devil.
because I was dark. And
Yes,
I wonder
now,
why I
I'll
don't
tell you.
fair.
You
Why
grew up with that people around you, so what's that?
I grew up as a Christian in that
It's
paradigm
like that-
where
that-
Jesus white, angel white, angel Gabriel, all the
I
good
mean,
guys.
me, I'm not
I
gonna
was
lie.
devil.
I'm not gonna lie. I used to say it when I was much younger that God, you are not nice.
Why you do me
why
like
are you
this?
white and I am black?
Exactly.
I said it.
See,
Yes, I
that
did.
is not the
See
highest
myself.
trauma of
See?
all time.
Really?
That's why bleaching cream sells in Africa.
And
When
they tell
they sell
you,
bleaching
no
cream for
matter
you,
the what is it, the enlightenment and all that.
Do you understand?
even see people educated and all.
professors like this.
They
By
watch
the
it.
way, in Revelations 1:14 and 15, they describe
Okay.
the appearance of this guy.
As
His hair white as wool, his eyes as burning flame, and his feet like unto fine brass. Bronze. This is the color, for Christ's sake. This is bronze, man. Yeah, no. So who's the guy? I know the guy. His name is Caesar Borgia. He's Michelangelo's cousin. Trauma. This is me expressing my spiritual trauma. I have been traumatized spiritually to think that I am devil
Yeah.
because devil is black and God is white. That's the worst you can. There's a video on my Instagram. Yeah, they brought like 3-year-olds and they brought 2 dolls, one white doll, one black doll, and they asked the children,
Go on, pick.
which one be the good doll among them? All the black children said the white doll is the good doll.
I mean, because
I have it on my Instagram.
now.
This is recent.
they're
though. I'm not talking
using
about 18 something. This
Yes,
is a recent survey.
Because
They
every
now,
doll
they
was
now
white
told the
before.
children which of these dolls is the bad one. All of them pointed the black one.
Wow.
Trauma. That is trauma pro max. Because it's a
That's
spiritual thing, you know. So these things are things we tend to avoid. When I was serving in Anambra, we get one woman where they make nice food. She will make food and veggies, so we usually go there. So all this sand truck passed with Jesus and Mary and now I tap the woman say, Why can't this your savior look like you? Don't be small fight. Oh.
She go say, I village people don't send.
Wallahi. See,
I will bring you in the name of
and
Jesus.
the woman is black and beautiful.
Beautiful.
She said, no, say my Satan. I said, madam, you hear yourself.
That's
You're
the
jogging
devil
me food,
speaking
man.
through
Go
you.
ahead.
But sorry, there's something I recently, I don't know, that your influence don't be plenty for my body.
Not good to know.
Recently, I started thinking about this, our gospel artists, especially in Nigeria. Even abroad, you see that they will do white wedding. They will do traditional wedding. If you are saying you don't agree with the traditions, why are you doing the traditional wedding?
I don't get.
So, what I'm trying to say is, if you do not
Exactly.
agree
If you do not agree with tradition,
and all those cultures,
if
okay.
tradition is fetish,
Hold on.
why are you doing traditional
I mean,
wedding?
funny enough, that is our own accepted. This white wedding.
Why are you even
Because it's foreign.
Why are you
Why the
even
wedding
doing
is
white
foreign?
wedding? Are you
Exactly.
white?
So, it's very think about it now that
White man know they do traditional marriage.
That we used to do.
Oyibo man know they do traditional
you
marriage.
don't
Yes,
believe
they
in
don't
all
do
those things. You
traditional
don't
marriage.
believe that, okay, the
That's-
white wedding is
that's
their
tradition.
God, you should.
Now.
You know that there are some traditions, sorry,
Okay.
man, there are some traditions, especially in the Igbo land, that they will give you eggs. I'm not Igbo, but I've seen it. You buy a crate of egg, some perfume, you spray people, you give them eggs, you give them all those stuff. You'll be surprised that even the gospel, the Christians do it. But they don't worship those gods. They bring all these schnapps and all those things they drink.
And they are still doing it. Exactly.
And then you are doing white wedding. Why? Now I'm starting to think about it and I'm like, but why? If you want to do white wedding,
Stay on one side.
and leave the
Choose
traditional
one side.
side.
Exactly.
Sitting on the fence.
Exactly.
They are not
Just one
They are saying on the fence of
Traditional wedding is a way of honoring
your
the
culture,
parents of whoever you want to get
honoring the
So who are you honoring with white wedding?
White wedding is for you to be joined in the church.
So they know okay, the family is not joining.
No.
See, marriage.
We didn't used to do trauma.
Marriage,
We didn't used to do white
We didn't
wedding.
used to. We
Do you
didn't used to.
know what?
We used to do a lot
That's
of
why even until now. Until now. When you have done traditional wedding, you are
You're
wedding.
married.
Marriage.
So that white wedding is a
Marriage
borrowed
na
thing.
family thing.
A lot of things are
Once
both.
both
Just go to
families
the registry.
join you together,
But
to talk.
I'm telling you,
that's what it is. That one way they go with your pastor.
even law recognizes traditional
Do you
marriage.
know that a pastor told me, he said, I even saw it in one interview, but this one, like one-on-one, the pastor said, if your parents bless you and your man, you are
Wallahi, I'm telling
God
you.
don't bless you like
I'm
that.
telling you.
Nobody is
I'm
arguing with
telling
you that
you.
you're not
I'm
married.
telling
You do
you.
not need me. You only need me to recognize your husband.
Nobody
Because
said
know
you are
that
not married.
Your parents are blessed you.
You are married,
I say, okay,
yes.
I join you too.
So my question
Say
is,
you are
what's
done.
the essence of
Of
the
white
white
wedding?
White wedding is
That they will
to
not
join
even
you guys
be-
together in holy matrimony.
Then
The traditional one now
wedding is to join
unholy.
you. This is really trauma. I'm glad that you now. My head don't open.
That's why we are not confident of ourselves.
all.
You hear people say, "Oh, well, if not for Igbo people, do you know what those people did to you?"
Honestly, we
Do
are
you know-
not.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. As a matter of fact, now those people be savages wey been dey live for caves.
Oh yeah.
Europe.
Hey!
Yes. Europe. The etymology of Europe means cave sides and mountains. That's what Europe means. Yes. That's what we
Now
taught them
everybody suffer before we
everything,
go there.
even to have their bath. The average Lebanese man wey dey
Excuse me,
work for
even
there,
now
no
they
dey
don't
bath.
bath. I saw a video. Someone was saying that. Okay, so do you wash your feet? Like
They know
wash
dey
my feet for
bath.
what? They say that the water. They say the water goes down.
what's
I'm
that?
like, hey.
How many
They
times do you
bath.
brush your teeth and it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, you mean I have to brush my teeth? And I'm like, whoa, really?
They don't wash
Even
them.
when they wan brush, they go just carry the pay, drop the thing,
You
start
do
to match.
too much, brr, and they are done.
That their dog. They know they wash. They know the.
No, they
Do
don't
you
do all
understand
of that.
No, so they know they brushed it. Some of them know they brushed it. Because you can't use one person to
No,
generalize
most
it.
of them.
Most of them are.
Because of-
Have you met most of them?
Yes, because of their ecology, right? Their environment, they cold. So you fit snow bath,
Yes.
so No be
just
here
to
wey
wear.
na tropics
The
wey
ones wey dey baff sef, how dem dey baff? Na shower.
Na shower.
Na shower, no be con.
na shower.
No be con wey we just scrub
That
body.
is part of the trauma.
Okay. Our trauma
thing
makes
is-
us clean.
It's part of the trauma.
Okay. Shower for 1 week now. Shower for 1 week, they do like this. I see.
Wetin you want with use all the soaps and then all the concons in this world scrub your body. The moment you are done, do like this again.
Exactly.
You
I see. You will know whether the thing will come out.
It must come out.
You see, black people, yeah, we've been traumatized by default.
By default.
During slavery, there's something they call breaking the buck.
Yeah.
Breaking the buck. Do you know what it's about? Now, when they see that there's resistance and the man want to do like say, they will now bring out the strongest male in the plantation, right? Now bring out everybody else, bring out everybody else to watch. Then another man will rape this man in the presence of everybody else.
Another man.
A
will
man.
rape.
The strongest man in the black
That's
community.
Gege.
Yes. It's called breaking the buck.
Jesus.
So once other people, even the pregnant woman, they see that thing, the child will be traumatized.
Of
Of
course.
course.
So when he come out, he's afraid of massa by default.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is what they've been doing to us over time. They break us, so you now come out and as one Oyibo man just walking, you see that you're trying to
Yes,
like you don't know
you
how
understand
you
the
started-
difference.
Exactly.
I don't
you
understand.
go start to speak
Some of
for
them
them
even
for
That's the.
You be saying
See.
this one is so connect to the owner of the
that you
language.
see that trauma dey inside your DNA.
Walai.
Do you understand? So you do not know how you just you see all these
You
things
switch.
we just neglect. It is deliberate. People sat for 3 months and 15 days. It's not a fluke. Then plan am properly to bring you to the barest, like to the lowest. The same people that said you do not have a soul, you are 3/5 of a human being. Now the same people will give you something to save your soul. Me, it doesn't add up. Oh. I don't understand. Do you understand? So why you go feel say we go come be something when do you understand?
Yeah.
That is the trauma. As in Trauma Pro Max, it's been running for 500 years.
Yes.
You don't even know. Me growing up, I didn't grow up in the slavery era,
Yeah.
but I was
then-
angry. I was black.
You know?
Meanwhile, this thing in your body, melanin, is a
Melanin.
gift.
Yeah.
Perfect gift.
Yeah.
This
I never see
melanin
who don't go
is
turn
to
his people
humans
black.
as chlorophyll is to plants. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
So like it is very, very important. Now we suppose they laugh there because they ain't got it.
Exactly.
And this melanin gets actual chemical compound. It is carbon. Do you get? So now we are so traumatized that being black is you won't go bleach. You won't
You
go.
won't change.
You say, oh, Igbo man. If not be Igbo man, Igbo man this.
Mario.
Go there, you will see this. Those people. Europe is advanced because they had free labor for 600 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They used you.
Imagine
still
say,
using us.
And they are
imagine
still,
say,
even
you
until now, if it's visa lottery and whatever, they are still
imagine
using
say,
us.
imagine say they run construction company, a very big construction company, and you have like 10,000 staff, and you need to pay them salary. In 2 years, you will achieve what the other guys achieving in 50 years.
Exactly.
You will grow exponentially.
Yeah.
So when you now grow your business and you are now established now, you can't dey style on those people, say they're lazy, then they backward. I
I
mean,
don't know anything.
the trauma is real.
The trauma is
Hey, let's come back.
What
I hope we can come back.
The trauma of self-hate.
trauma of
I'm
self-hate.
telling you. So we
I
were
don't
talking
just
about
have
physical
trauma of
trauma. Okay, now so let's go to sexual abuse. This one is we know this one very well. Very
So,
common.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I get you.
Back to home. So sexual abuse, and of course, sexual abuse too. It starts from the home.
Yeah.
Because if you see in most of the cases that was recorded, usually the person is somebody close to the child, to the
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah.
It's usually somebody close. If it's not the parents, and you'll be surprised to know that some parents do
Of
sexually,
course.
yes, abuse their
Abuse their
children.
children.
If it's not the parents, it will be somebody close, one
Either the
uncle,
cousin,
one cousin. You know,
the
you
auntie.
find out that some male children, you know, they got this virgin by
House
their
girl.
Not even as gay.
House
Maybe their cousin or
I
auntie.
mean, the cousin thing is
or
even
it's very
it's
very
very common
rampant.
because
Yes, or
somebody even
auntie,
said
older
it.
auntie.
confidently.
Imagine.
And that was just it for me. And I said, you are sick. It reach inside your brain, something they do you well. Like they talk am out for public, say, now me this virgin, my cousin. Like you they talk am.
Imagine.
You sit down well for your body, you open mouth where people they talk that kind of thing.
That is why
you
they say
sick.
that people that traumatize people are also,
also traumatized.
Yeah.
Because if he has not been traumatized, how would you be able to,
Really?
confidently
And that
say
was the
that?
last time I saw. I deleted his number from my phone. That was the last time I saw him because I felt really, really irritated. That I mean, why would you come if you can do that to your cousin? There's really no big deal in doing it to your child.
Yeah.
Exactly. You will see
Because
it
I
as
mean,
anything.
I'm waiting because
Yes,
okay,
have you not heard of cases where fathers
crazy.
say that they are the ones that should? I've heard that case that they are the one that would disvirgin his daughters.
now that's bullshit. That's,
I don't understand
That guy, that-
they say that tradition.
That person know they get
That one no
some.
fit ever be tradition. You no fit ever be
He said that
tradition.
tradition is what that.
See, make
and then
me-
I know the tradition.
Please. Let's draw the lines between all these sick behaviors.
I'm telling
And
you.
African tradition.
I'm telling
It
you.
hurts me
I'm
so
telling you.
bad to hear all these things as African tradition because me, I don't look into all these things, and Africa gets the greatest culture in the world till today.
Yeah.
Culture.
Everything you see in the world is a manifestation, some plagiarized of the African spiritual high culture. You know, so we know they see the thing just like it is a spiritual thing.
It is.
John, it is serious. Like we need to go back and reacquaint ourselves with all these things. If not, we'll go they run around, we will run for bush. Like that's what we do.
Yeah,
Do you understand? So it vexes me when I hear this is our tradition. They say there's this misconception about the killing of twins
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then.
and Mary Slessor.
You may say Mary Slessor came to save us.
Those people, I think he is ethic people also.
Yeah.
You understand? Their deity, yes, not two-faced something. And I want to say it here that those things don't be gods. God. The African did not have any image for God. I'm sorry I'm coming here, but the African, there is nowhere in Africa there is an image for God.
No.
What they have is aspects and attributes of the characteristic of what they think is God.
Yes.
So they have different things. They have and they have things to represent them. Not be saying that those things.
Yeah.
Now just like a representation. This is a point of contact.
Like in my place, they have like a leaf.
Do you understand?
Particular leaf they
Do you understand?
use.
It's not the
And then
leaf,
we
it's
call
the-
them idol worshippers.
Exactly. So
Sabi.
that ethic thing, they had two-faced deities, sort of, right? So it represents the masculine and the feminine energy. It makes sense now. It does make sense. So now they reverence this thing. So when twins come, they will say, oh, they have the gods have actually
visited us.
come.
Yeah.
So when the Europeans came and demonized that idea, it spilled over to the children.
Oh.
It wasn't our thing. Before Mary Slessor was when Mary Slessor was a small child, the king of that town was pushing to abolish it because this is not our thing. We know our thing. Mary Slessor no help people for our country where they fight for years and years.
Come
She
come
leave
here.
that side.
Come here. Come
And charity begins at home.
Yes.
If you cannot sweep your inside your house, now for road you won't go the tidy.
No fit.
Do you understand? So we need to deconstruct from that paradigm where they demonize our. Meanwhile, the same people we can't give you this other one where they carry for head. They first learned your ways. Did they go too
Yeah.
far for that side?
Definitely now, yeah.
Plenty.
Do you understand? Before they took our stuff, they were not inventing aeroplanes. Those things they defy gravity, and you know what I mean. Like even the phone, this telephone, people been they do telepathy. Like if I think of you so much, I will summon you. This is not spookism.
It works. I'm sorry to use
It
this
is-
language. It works.
It is
That
not
works. That one
spookism.
is not even any spookism.
Do you understand?
It has worked for me
Same me
several
and you they
times.
vibrate. I feel just
Yeah.
it happen well for my neighborhood that time in Port Harcourt. We just sit down when you at job there, you come when you don't drink, they say, well, I never see this guy in a beat though. 30 minutes later, the guy
we
will
don't,
waka.
we don't realize
Sometimes
it.
you
So
know
He go
the
say-
bastard.
he go say,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure everyone has had that kind of
Yeah.
experience, but we don't don't take it. Yeah, we don't take it to mind.
I just dey
I was just
I
talking
just say ma
about
come
it now,
outside. I just dey sleep. I just say ma come. I say na we summon you. Come sit down. You understand? That's why Igbo people they will call phone ofo. Give me my ofo, like phone. Ofo actually now that's totem way they use
Authority.
of authority.
Yeah, authority.
Do you understand? So we need to know that we had spiritual high culture. Think about it like that. It's not just culture. Say you go to chop
I like
fish,
as
the
you
tie
put
wrapper.
am.
It is a spiritual high culture. They guide us. We need to go back to this thing. See, they don't come up from us from there and trauma. Now, why would they? Anybody will say, okay, you are like this, will say it's true,
Yes,
it's
it's
me.
true.
You are like this, it's me. You are like this. Do you understand? And I was saying earlier that we are the only people in this world who our spiritual representation doesn't look like us. It is a problem, bros. It is a big problem. Do you understand? We need to try to arrange all these things back. If not, we go your day.
That's another trauma.
Yes, so perpetual trauma.
Okay.
Okay, so this sexual abuse thing now, do you think there should be boundaries
Yeah.
for this sexual abuse? Because I've heard of cases where they say that fathers should not bathe their female children.
I
You
personally
know,
do
they
not
should
have a
not
problem.
change
What
their
happens
password because
when the mother is not available?
I do not have a problem with that.
You know, it depends
Personally.
on how old she is. Like, I don't think you should be taught, you should be bathing a girl who has blossomed. Why you go there?
yeah, of course,
Blossom.
of course.
Some people blossom at 11.
It doesn't
leave her
matter.
alone.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, just
It doesn't matter.
just let
She has
see.
blossom at 11. You leave
If
her
you
at
ask me,
11.
yeah.
Blossom is blossom.
If you ask me, that's
You
why
leave.
it's important for both parents to be involved.
Yes, in the
So I
child.
always say that I would like to get married to a woman who's so you go reach when I will say, oh yeah, now you is your turn. Oh, yeah, go on.
Exactly.
Because there are some things I think I won't be comfortable saying.
Yeah.
Do you get? So if the woman is not available, the pikin go bath by herself.
What if she
It's
can't?
not rocket science. She go learn.
How she no go can't?
I don't understand. You want to date a girl that has bonded?
No, I'm just saying there are cases where the mothers are not available for some reason.
But
Maybe they are
at the point,
separated or whatever reason.
at the point that the
I-
child is even
I understand. Like, I
the 11-year-old
understand.
child can bathe
I
herself.
understand.
Now,
I understand.
10.
See, I understand where he's coming from.
Before
Yes.
my pikin reach 6
And
years, I don't
maybe
teach her how to
the
do
child,
Yes,
the
now
child
better
is
supervise
sick
you.
or some condition
Anything
might
can
warrant.
happen.
You understand?
Yes, I know.
So it shouldn't be a norm.
Yeah.
Right? So even you now as a father who's in this position, you guys stay upright.
Yeah.
This is where
If
the
father,
this is
it's
where
not
the
supposed to be a
parenting comes
topic. You are supposed to be upright. It's your daughter.
Now be
Okay,
supposed,
now.
but we
No,
have
I'm
cases
glad you
where
said
men
supposed.
defile their
Supposed to be
children.
upright.
Yes, they defile their children.
See, they are sick people. See,
Ah.
there are enormously sick people running things in the society.
Big time.
There are men who lose their wives and the daughter takes over. You've not heard that one.
Takes over from us.
From
the
Where the
mother
wife
being the
stops.
wife now.
Ah.
That the man,
And he
I've
do
heard it before that the man was
everything.
like,
He's born
the
pikin.
daughter looks so much like his late wife. So
You cannot let
I'm
her
like,
go.
That's
So,
a sick.
that's the height of being sick, you know.
But these things happen. You can't say
They
that these
happen,
things don't
you know.
happen.
they happen. So I don't think, but once a daughter starts, but I don't think you have any, and that's why we just feel like sometimes these Western people, we feel like, okay, their own is too much or whatever, you know, that you have to knock on your child's door before
Yeah,
you enter.
yeah.
But here, like, what do you
For my
mean? In
own
my
house.
house?
No, parents do it now.
But
Parents,
now, yes, parents do it now.
Some
Even
parents
if you
do it now.
They are not all.
me, my papa no dey do am like that. He go your turn. What is your problem?
But they don't
I
even
go
wait
put
for you.
extra
Because
knock for my
you
door.
don't have
Knock,
block.
oh.
Because you don't have block.
But my father go
Because
start
in
the
my
talk
house,
before you
they
reach
lock
your
the
room.
doors.
You get one
I
of
have to knock.
you get one of my uncle wey he go knock. He will not even open the door until you answer. If you don't answer him, you assume you're not there. My papa no dey run am like that. He go, you come group.
No, my own papa go
I say,
begin
what
dey
are you trying
talk
to
from
say?
afar, so you go know say e dey come.
E dey come.
He go dey tell you in advance. Say,
I'm
from
not
where
you,
you dey,
I'm
go say,
not you.
make I go even check wetin dis girl dey do. So you don already hear im voice. You know say e dey come.
Me, I no sure say my
Just
papa dey
arrange
reason
yourself.
am. Me just dey do him thing. You
Like,
understand?
what
But-
are you? Why can't
But when I
tell
put the
you?
loss, when he call, he do bro first time, he will now pause. He will now call you on the phone. Say, okay, get my number, sis. So yeah.
Okay, so they are talking about boundaries. There should be, like you said, when a child starts, especially, I think it goes both
It goes
ways.
both ways.
It goes both ways, so because
Yeah.
we don't like to think about the
The
male
boy child,
because we just feel like,
yes.
but then a lot of male
Yes.
They
child
ab-
are
they
abused.
They
Yes.
abuse.
I
I
know
feel
they
like they
are
abuse
I know
the
a
male
male
more.
child more, but they don't,
And they don't
talk
talk.
about
They
Some
don't
of
it.
talk.
us, some of
They don't talk.
not us per se, but I'm a man too.
Mm.
Some of us they enjoy it.
Exactly. So you won't talk.
So
It will be
yeah.
later that you
Like
realize
you
that
said,
you were actually
Oh,
abused.
yeah, I've
That it
met
was abuse.
someone is in his 50s, I think mid-50s, and we were having this conversation about sexual harassment, all of those things. And he said when he was between 10, 11, that his mom's friend, that till now he didn't tell his mom. His mom is still alive. He said his mom's friend would come to the house, she was staying with them, that she was actually using him to satisfy herself.
Can you imagine?
That he grew up, he married somebody he's older than him, but he liked
Older women.
that thing is still in him. That
That is traumatized.
yeah, and I told him, I said, can you tell your wife? Because he said his wife caught him one time, in a relationship with another
That
older
woman,
one, and she was
okay.
like, why? You are not even following one small girl that will make me
Abi.
be like, okay, she's dressing hot, but that woman is just out of fashion. He said his wife was really crying. And then that was when he now knew that, okay,
He
I think
opened
I
up.
need help. He didn't tell her. He didn't say
didn't
anything.
tell her.
I had to
She
take him. I
told
said,
her.
just sir, I think you should let your wife know
Yes.
that you are suffering and you
I
need
think
help.
I think he should try to heal first
Before letting his wife know.
because
She can
She can help him heal. That's what I said.
well I don't know. It
She can
depends.
help him,
I hope
though.
say
I said, I really
I
don't
hope
know
say
the
marriage
relationship. I
friend.
feel
Hey,
like-
because-
how will
Help you
she
heal.
can't blame him for that.
well,
If he tells her all of this, she
you don't know the
cannot.
dynamics.
You don't know
of
how
it.
she thinks.
And that's why I don't like all this. My husband, it's a lie,
I
you.
don't follow my people.
It's a lie.
No
It's
vex.
not your husband.
I know say before that normal thing.
Before
but
that
now,
normal thing, and
I
that's
know
what they
the
used to
thing.
use.
Yes.
My husband come,
Come
and my
and
wife
sit
come and sit on my
Come
lap.
and
I
eat
brought this
See,
for
there
you.
was,
It's a
there was
lie.
this, there was this
No,
girl I
you
was
know
saying
good.
one
No
time.
husband, though.
She has this like neighborhood friends. Yeah, the guy is married, like in their wife. So the man, they call the man my boyfriend. Like they've been doing it before me and her started growing up. So one of those days I can't go her house, I can't come out, come see the guy, my husband. I look at like
Another person's husband.
another person husband. Even if me I know to the reason I'm like the next day I saw that the wife was there. My husband. I look the wife, look the husband. Like say scale though in the eye. You know they see well.
So I'd like to share something. So it was when I grew up that now I had to think about it well again. I'm grateful that I didn't die that period. So there's this man in my estate where we were staying, where we grew up, GRA Ikeja, and he's a security guard there. So every time we pass, he will greet us and then he will go. He had this very tiny little TV like this. So anytime we see, he'll just put it there and is watching and we'll all be, wow, this is so cute and all. So he was, anytime we're there, like we're passed outside or not inside his house, he's always talking about his girlfriend. He'll be like, my girlfriend. That's how we pronounce it. My girlfriend. She liked this TV. So one time, my dad was coming back from work. I was there. I was watching TV. I mean, when I say outside, I mean outside. Just like, everybody is saying. And then my dad got home before me. Immediately I entered. He said, what were you doing there? I said, I was just admiring the TV. My dad, the one that beat me, died. I fainted. That was the last time my father ever touched me. Like my dad beat me to the point where I fainted. So when I woke up, my mom was, talking to my dad, why would you beat her that way and all of that? He said, the fact that that's not the first time he will see us go to that man's place to sit with him. That by the time they start going there every time, before you know it, they don't carry belly.
True.
His exact word.
True.
So, since then, I learned how to stay away from, if I start talking to you and then I notice that there's this sort of
Chemistry,
closeness, do you
yeah.
understand? I try to just drift away a little, make it look on lead to. Especially, especially family members, and I'm serious when I mean family members because they are the ones that are the biggest.
Yes, true. Very true.
They will so bring you to the point where in your mind you'll be like, okay, you are very safe with them. It's safe to do it with this person.
Yeah.
And then it will feel like when they start asking questions, when they find out that okay, something happened between you both, the other person will not make it look like he forced you into doing it. You see, we are
Exactly. Exactly.
So man, it's crazy.
I think that we should teach the kids to be very vocal
Yes.
about
Yes.
this thing. So, sex education is important.
Yes.
Me, at the talk, I'm like, say, I don't know if I'll be able to do it with my kids because it's a very delicate issue.
Yeah,
right?
but it still needs
So,
to be done.
Of course. So you have to be, that's why I said parenting is everything, because you have to be matured first. You can't pour from an empty cup. You see, so we need to be able to have this conversation with our children, like, oh, this is this. So no go tell us, say, believe men, if they touch you, you get pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the way it
That's
works.
not, yes.
Because when they start doing the thing, they'll say, okay, it's not touching, it's
Yeah.
so
Goes beyond that.
I feel like we should start having all these conversations with the children. Tell them how children are made.
Yeah.
Tell them that, okay, this is this, but you are supposed to get to a certain age because they will still find out.
Exactly. They will still find out.
So if you
The wrong way.
do your charity at home, when they get out, they can now know good from
From
bad.
bad.
Speaking about good from bad, I'm going to go back to where we did not want to go. So, like, it beats my imagination to know that it is the knowledge of good and evil that was marked out not to use. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? So, one is supposed to have knowledge of good and evil. It will guide your actions. But when your guy says, this good of evil, no touch amo, but eat every other thing. I mean, how does that sound? So everybody's going to be ignorant and walking up and down. And do you understand? So if you give the child the knowledge of good and evil, okay,
It's balanced now.
it
Because
is
there are
balanced.
times that you actually need that evil sex.
I always tell
It's not
people
the
that
time
I
that
always say, like, one of the things I don't
Yes.
like religion is that they want to make you into a saint. You cannot be a saint. It is not in your nature or in your jurisdiction to be a saint. You have to rock there's beauty in the imperfection. You have to rock it. You have to own it, right? And I mean, just do right by yourself and everybody and the environment. Very important.
The environment. Okay. You want to say something?
We just need to be more receptive towards our kids, be more communicative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
communicative,
open-minded,
open-minded, and talk.
That's the problem. You feel something should not be said.
Exactly. Some houses you can't even mention.
Oh,
They don't even call private parts the name
Yeah.
they are
Oh.
called.
Understand?
Or they'll
They
say,
don't. So they'll say it's kokoro. Or
or
they'll
they-
or you even call it that. Where did you hear that? And then you just shut the children up, and then you make them feel like, oh, there's a big deal to it,
Yeah,
and you know.
and they say-
my nieces and nephews.
No.
They don't allow your mommy this.
Exactly. It's not kokoro. It's Phoenix. It's this. You know.
Somebody else outside
We tell you.
And they'll
Exactly.
say-
this is what it is.
They'll say,
Yes.
leave them, they are children.
Eh.
That's the worst thing that
A
happens to us.
misconception. I'm telling you.
Leave them, they are
They are
children.
children.
You see that time where young children will just, especially when they are like maybe infants, and then they are just moping.
They're just looking.
They are
Abio.
installing the program. That's what they are
everything.
doing.
They are uploading.
So as you just come out like this, that's the way you
Uploading,
do.
They
They
don't
don't
try.
test them out. Yeah. So there has to be
I agree.
a bridge.
And you know, this is even very important, because this is why I tell people sometimes when they see two children, like maybe children of like from 3 to 5 or something, and you see them, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Maybe you see them touching each other, or you see them on each
Or
other,
kissing.
or kissing, and then you are like, hey, Jesus, hey, what do you I'm like, that is the wrongest thing to do
Yeah.
at that point, because they must have
Don't
gotten
be
it from
dramatic,
somewhere. Don't
yes.
be dramatic. First find out, what are you doing? Where did you see that?
You know, they will tell you. They will even tell
They will
you.
tell you.
Speaking
When
of
you see
drama,
that,
You are.
what are you doing? They will tell you what they are doing.
Of course.
They will tell you that, I saw it, Auntie Keshi doing it,
And
or
they
I
are
saw it on
innocently.
TV. Oh, they will tell you. They won't even lie. They will tell you. So that is what you need to get first.
Children don't lie.
They don't.
You know.
You will get that information. You get the information first, and then you tell them the right thing. Not that you do, hey,
Speaking
that's
of-
how they start. That's how they start.
speaking of drama, right? We have to teach the children how to play, right?
Yeah.
I remember mommy and daddy You
Yes,
know
that mommy and daddy play. Yes,
now there for mommy and daddy things they go on.
yes, exactly,
Because they already know mom and daddy are a certain way.
exactly.
So in the play, they will try to replicate
Replicate that.
mommy and daddy. From mommy and daddy, things are gone.
Mhm.
You know, so we need to teach them how to play. This is where the culture comes in. Right? So because the culture is a pre-existing structure, when they come, they just fall in line. You know, good culture, I mean. So this is why it's important to culture and all those things. It's very important. It's very, very important. We're trying to relegate it to dress and masquerade, and it's beyond all of that. It's like the way we relate, the way we eat, the way we. So we need to revamp all these things and then teach it to the children. That's I feel like that's the only way we'll get a better society. You know, and stop to teach our girls to be good housewives when they grow up.
Abi,
They
yes.
should teach them to be professionals, to be
I like that. This
better
is coming
people.
from a man.
Of course, like better people. Like you
To
want to
be
be a
better
doctor.
versions
I want
of
to be an
themselves,
astronaut.
yes.
Not to say I want to
Not
marry
that-
a rich man. He no get capacity to be an odogress
Exactly.
or something, you know. So that mentality is a problem as well. It's trauma pro max on the whole.
Trauma. Okay, so let's move on. Time is fast. Maybe we will have part 2.
Time flies where you're having
Where you're
fun.
having fun. Okay, so let's talk about emotional abuse. I'm just going to tie it together. Emotional abuse and neglect. You know, when we started, I was saying that this emotional abuse is even the baba of them all. But it's subtle. You will not know because it does not leave physical marks on your body. So you will not know. When somebody is manipulating you or somebody is talking down on you, you know, and then you don't really get this. It happens inside here. It's not outward. So you don't really know until, because in this discussion we've had today, we've talked about esteem and all that. Emotional abuse, those are the things that come out from it. So if you've been emotionally abused, when you become an adult, you might have esteem problems or you might have relationship problems. Yes, you know, different things. Relationship problems, you don't know how to relate.
Interact with people.
Interact with people. You don't know how to express
Exactly.
yourselves, you know. You don't know how to. That's the end. It's very difficult. And then you sometimes you become a people pleaser. Because you don't want somebody to get angry with you. You want to be nice, so you want to always be in the good books.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Yeah, so it is.
You can't even have an opinion.
It's quite broad. It's quite broad. And
So
we've also
parents will
mentioned
say,
neglect.
"Oh, stupid child! You are you don't have sense. You are a stupid guy." The stupidity they come from you as the parent, really. If the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, and you are the tree, you are bigger stupid than the child. Yeah. So I think we need to. The language we use on the children, me, I know what I hear, I know as it affects me, and it's not something I want to tell my friend, not even picking himself. Like when you say these things to people, it sticks.
Yeah.
The negative things they stick past. So when you want to follow out, say, let me approach this girl. Your mind will tell you, remember, you're a stupid guy. You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, so
you know, I always say that, you know, flogging a child there is better than speaking all those negative words, calling them names and all that, because there's no way you won't forget. Just like I was saying, I was telling you that I remember things from 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby, you won't forget.
I have a friend now that her parents, they take care of her money wise, but they are not parents.
They are providers.
Especially the father.
You know,
and it's affecting her in all aspects.
it will.
She's always trying to get validation.
Exactly.
Always needing what's the word now? She's not used to
Approval.
Validation.
She's not used to being loved.
That thing would have
And
come
that
from
time
her
she can
father.
fall in the wrong hands. Yes, now
They
when
go
the
they use
father,
her anyhow.
anyhow.
She's not used to being
If somebody just say I love you or simple, she
Don't
don't
come,
go.
big head.
She don't go.
so like
She don't go.
the big issue. Communication is she has self-esteem issues. You can't talk this person out of this. I don't tire.
It's therapy.
She's brilliant at what she does, but she does not carry
She
that
does not
power.
believe
No,
in herself.
that's in her blind side. She cannot. She can be brilliant and excellent in one part, but this other side will be like a deficiency. She no go. It's a
And
serious problem.
it will keep drawing her back.
If she doesn't heal, she will transfer it to her children.
Yes.
I sent you one post one time, right?
Mm.
These things are transferred.
Yes,
From.
yeah.
So
Trauma is transferred.
Yeah,
Trauma
so
is transferred.
as a man now, growing up now, I don't identify the things which trigger me. Right, at least most of them, because I feel like I said they may say I'm finished. Yeah, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I, avoid this when I have a child? So now, as I did like this, when babe not there, I'm thinking about how the offsprings will thrive with what I know, and so it's very important. That's why the home is the basic unit of our existence.
It is.
So you cannot fix the society when the home is messed up. So, and then another problem where they foster this trauma are broken homes.
Yeah.
That's a big problem in our society, and it happens like it's normal.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be biased, but I feel like women encourage divorce more than men. That's
How?
Well, let's take Tiwa's case, for instance, or Toke or something. You see, they were eager to leave their marriages. Most women are like that. Then down the line, they realize,
That's these days. It wasn't even like that before.
no,
But now,
a lot of
because
things no they like that before.
but because
So
women
now
are-
they will now realize that the grass is greener where you water.
yeah, where
Say
you
you dey
water.
see say grass green that side, they water am. Exactly. Say your own don't weed am. Now say the water am. You don't call this my idiot. This that. Bang door for your head. Everything. Nothing. Things can blossom. You get one thing where Peter Edochie talk. Even though I don't agree with him for plenty things he used to say about African culture and women, he says something that the woman makes the home, which is correct.
Yeah.
So you, with all your money, as you build mansion, a house,
Yeah.
until a woman comes in.
Yeah.
You understand? The woman has an integral part in society. It's not just society, even in spirituality.
Yeah.
Because she's the portal, for Christ's sake. Now she dey navigate souls into flesh. If you cannot see that as divine, Omo,
You are sick.
you miss me on that bullshit. Yeah, so these things are important. The place of the woman in the society will impact the home, positive plus, right? The way we bring up our if you ask me, is the woman, right?
But the woman is not as much as the woman is important, but then she's not doing it alone. She's not doing
it's
it
not
alone.
an
So-
alone thing.
She has support, so it also depends on where the man is coming from.
What I'm saying is that the woman has some sort an integral role to play. You understand? Like I've always said, the woman is the neck.
What you saying is, if the man wants you to work, it will work.
Walai.
Okay, in a situation where the woman is being assaulted, domestic violence, how will she make it work?
Make she come up for there.
Exactly! Exactly! She
You
will
understand?
come
Make she come up for there or break her head back.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand? Yes. If you cannot take what you're giving, then don't give it out.
Yeah.
You understand? For a man to want to beat a woman, you're already less because you suppose they like stronger than her, like physically, so to speak. So you no go fit put all that your energy for her body. That means you are weak. If you don't know that, then
It's very clear now. Any
do you
man that beats a
understand?
woman is weak.
Women are
Whether-
very annoying, no doubt. Very, very annoying, no doubt. But we need to recalibrate basically the men as well, because men are comfortable with women the way they are. Because say once my robbers once my money completes, I'll get what I want. You understand? And that's the narrative the women push. I'm talking about this man and woman thing because that's the environment where the child will grow.
Yeah.
So if you do not get it right, it will never work.
Yeah.
It will never. So we have to look at it holistically, from the abuse to the every other thing. So yeah. And I'm going to chip in one last religion thing. I know we'll talk again. Yes. To bring up the woman to that status, you have to denounce any religion or spiritual worship that puts her down. That's fundamental. Do you know why that's important? Because it is not physical, and the not physical rules the physical. So if you don't get it right from there, you go run around circles from here. It's just like trying to paint the mansion well when you know say the foundation no good, it will still
Yeah.
crumble.
Yeah.
All the work you've done will be wasted. So I am one who tackles problems from the root. So I cannot not see it like this. You see? So once the woman go to any civilized society where everything they thrive, look at their woman, then put her on a pedestal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
well,
African
that's true.
spirituality I always tell you about. When you say this is African, it's not true. If you check the drawings on the wall in Egypt, I always reference that because it has been like that from the inception. Yes, and the people will put them there no say time like this go come. You understand? When the language is Meduneta, that thing they call hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics is not Greek.
Yeah.
So the people call it Meduneta, right? It's like language of Neta. Neta is nature. So when they want to depict the woman, they depict her as a throne. She is the throne, right? She will choose a befitting upright man to sit on the throne. That's all of them. They were as much Nesubitis that women like as men. That's the pharaohs, I mean. The women almost outnumber the men, but they won't tell you that. The Benin Empire, where they expand, Queen Idia, the woman, now expand them the way you sabi am. Yes. Check all the revolutions around. Haitian Revolution, Dessalines, and all those people. Now the women now back all those revolutions. So the woman is important. The woman of our day wants to sit down and be taken care of. You understand? You have to be responsible. The book says, I'll find you a helper. No be liability, no be dependent. Helper.
Why are you not referring to?
For communication purposes. See, let me tell you one thing. It's literature. It's folktale.
No, it's not fucking.
That's what you
It's
say.
official book.
That's what you say. Paper is not spiritual. The spiritual is you.
Paper is not spiritual.
You understand? The spiritual is you, not the book.
The content of the paper is spiritual.
The content of the book.
Okay.
You understand? So I don't forget what I want to.
It don't make you
Yeah.
forget.
So you said the book. Why am I making reference to the book?
Yeah.
It just did like Taste by Moonlight.
Yeah.
I know everybody watched Taste by Moonlight.
Yeah.
They'll say tortoise and the rest of the animal went to heaven. They say all these things for all of you. Tortoise say name now all of us. Bring biscuits, all of us. Bring candy, all of us. When he reached Togo now, all of us no fit carry him load.
Exactly.
Then Shonam, all of us. But you carry your thing. So as he was struggling, he fell down and broke his shell.
Yeah.
You and I know that's not why the lines on the tortoise shell is there.
It's going for kids now.
Exactly. Not just for kids. Listen to the end. At the end of the story, the woman will say what? Children, what is the moral of the story? They can't say don't lie.
Don't be greedy.
Don't be selfish.
That's how the religious story is. You people are focusing on the story instead of the lessons of the story. You understand? So that's where the problem is.
It's not a story.
So
That's
it is.
not
It's a storybook. There's no single remains of any character in the Bible on earth today. No bone. I'm
What
serious.
about Jesus' tomb?
No, you say tomb, na empty. No bone, no hair, no fingernails. This thing don't decay. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. All the African stories of people where they talk say they, all of them, they are bone. They don't see our finish.
Well, we cannot ascertain that information right now.
Who cannot? What information?
There are no remains. We cannot ascertain
Archaeologists. Archaeologists, world-renowned. No be me. All the things what I say, no be me. I'm too young to
those things.
I'm now waiting. People don't put together. Waiting. People don't vet over 300 years. How can you dispute? Do you understand what I mean? So there are no remains. We dey see bone of the earliest woman wey dem call Lucy. Her bone dey there. Jesus wey come yesterday or 2 days ago. Nobody dey see am. No Michael, no Moses, no. Do you understand? No other people. Just so it is metaphoric.
Okay, so like I said, there's going to be part 2 to this because I still have a lot of things that we have not talked about. Some of the abuse that we've not talked about, violence, and then how it presents in relationships, in your mental health, substance abuse, physical symptoms, even sleep disturbances, all those things is a lot. Is a lot, and we cannot finish that today. So watch out. There's going to be part 2 of this. But before we close for today, I want to ask, do you have any final words on this emotional and neglect?
Oh yeah. So I think I'm going to agree with Dakuye when he said you need to be mature before you start raising kids, because at the end of the day, I think the children suffer more. This whole trauma thing tends to affect the children more than the parents.
Yeah.
So you should be really, really mature. And when I say maturity, I don't mean your age. Because there are
Obviously.
very young people that are way more mature than people in their 50s and all.
Yeah.
So you need to be mature before you start. You need to be mentally ready before you start bringing children, so as not to bring all of this trauma to them, because it will affect them in the future. Thank you.
But you know, the funny thing is that these people that you are telling that they should need to be mature, they're also coming from someplace with their own baggage.
Yeah, you also need to heal. You know, if you're coming from a
Healing is very important.
very, very important. You need to heal first.
But you need to acknowledge first.
Acknowledge that
Exactly.
you are suffering.
You have to acknowledge.
Traumatized. Acknowledge it. You need somebody to help.
But then, you know, sometimes in this our climb, in this, I won't say Africans again or Nigerians, we really don't believe in trauma like that. So why you are telling somebody that I'm traumatized, I had this, what thing they do you? What do you mean trauma? Exactly. Like go chop.
You don't chop today.
Like I was saying at the beginning of this show, that some people don't believe in depression. That you are not depressed. You just need money. You just, and it is depression is actually a thing. You know, but not a lot of people believe it. So if I'm telling somebody now that I'm traumatized, I had this in my childhood, what is it? So whose parent did not shout on them? They shouted. You know, so that kind of thing. So people actually need to.
There's this sausage roll that I don't eat because of something that happened. I saw an accident where the trailer somebody was walking. So since then, it's been really, really long. I have never tasted that sausage roll before. I don't want to mention name, you know. I have never tasted it. And I told someone, and the person was like, "What's going to happen?"
Exactly, you know.
You see, they put that for it. I said, "Okay, well." Two of us see the difference.
Exactly.
No, not even different. The person wasn't in your shoes.
Yeah, it was not your shoes at that time. And then I just remembered something now. I don't know if you people will, if people will understand, if people will know. Okay, who is Gen Z here? Are you Gen Z? I know you said that people are not Gen Z. But if you remember, I don't know, when we're growing up, there was this animal, stuffed animal, like an alligator, stuffed, it's brown. Stuffed animal, a reptile. You don't know.
No.
Jesus. It just flashed now, you know, and that thing like traumatized me as a child because it was supposed to be furniture, you know.
Okay,
this animal like this, it's like this, like those animals that those abokis carry now, those like body stuffed one.
For interior decoration or toy or something.
I don't know, maybe that's, you know, because I have fear for a lot of things now, you know, and I've been sitting back to, okay, where did this fear even come from? Where is the genesis? What was the first thing that scared me? You know, because I feel like there was a time that I didn't have as much fear, but it seemed like as I grew older, the fear became worse. So I'm like, where is this thing coming from? But I just remember that now. This thing, my cousins terrorized me. It was in their house that I even used to beg God. I remember I had relationship with God there. So when people say God, you have to be Christian. I had relationship with God and I was not a Christian. Like I used to actually talk to him. Thank God.
Did you hear back from him?
Good question.
Was it a two-way communication?
I believe that he has had
If to say not two-way, you for no be believe.
No, like it's there now. It's been a while.
Continue. Don't let us go.
No, it's been a while. No, I had relationship with God though, and he used to answer me because the things I used to like sometimes say, please don't let my mother be angry when she comes back today. Or I've done something, I say don't let her remember something. And it works. It works. So I believe that he used to answer. And we beg them that please don't let them just remember. Let them just not remember this animal. They will terrorize and I used to be so scared. Now that I'm thinking about it, it used to be so traumatic for me that I won't even want to go to that house, you know. And although I know that yes, it's a stuffed animal, it can't do anything to me, but I don't even know how to explain that fear. It used to be so bad. Yes.
it was not appealing.
And they used to feed on that. I don't know how some people are meant to be serial killer. They used to feed on my fear. Like, you know,
Fun for them.
yes, they will just go and be, oh yeah, and they will chase me to the ends of the earth and I'll be screaming and I'll be,
You're crying.
just
Like a kid that is scared of
honestly, I just remember that thing. I'm so glad that we don't have it in houses now. When I was growing up then, it was almost in every house. You will see it.
I need to go and get it. I'll put it in my house.
God forbid. I will not even enter your house. I will not even enter your house. I remember when they said that, you know, there used to be this painting as well of a crying child. You know that one? Painting of a crying child now. That used to be in homes.
Of course, I've seen recent ones. But
Are there recent ones? That time there used to be, and then there was a time they now said that there is bad luck for the house, that the house will burn. You don't know that?
That the house will burn. Okay, no.
That to bring bad luck and all. It's not common now. I don't see it anywhere now. I think all those things have gone with time.
You
There
have
was a
crying
time.
child. You know.
Yeah, there was one painting like that. It was almost in every house that time. Yes, there was this boy. You used to cry like this, and they painted him like that. And it was very common in almost every house. And with that stuffed animal too. All those terrible things. All those things are trauma. They are just trauma. You know. Imagine me entering more house now and I see, I'll just say, please, I forgot something at home. Because it will just, I don't know how the brain is wired.
Yeah.
It will just take you back. You can't even control it. It will just take you back. PTSD, and you just start remembering things and things you shouldn't be remembering. You just remembering. Anyway, that's part of the trauma that I'm talking about. So, Emmanuel, do you have any last words before we finally go?
This trauma issue now, the next point should be, how do people get out of it?
Yes.
How do they get past it? The first step is acknowledging.
Acknowledging.
How do you identify? Because you can't identify by yourself. I know you know of yourself. So I think the easiest way to identify is if there is something that every other person is noticing that you feel is not right about yourself. You might not think it's a problem. Just talk to somebody that you feel is close enough, knowledgeable enough, as your interest at heart, that will be open with you and talk to you about it. So the person will help you identify if truly it is trauma.
But there are some, you know yourself. You don't need to identify. There are some, true, Sha. There are some that you may not know, but
you have some other things that you can't point out for yourself. Someone else has to point out.
Or that you even know is wrong until somebody.
Let me give you an example. I'm very nonchalant in my relationships. Someone has to point it out. And who could point it out? Somebody that I really like. If I don't like you,
You'll be nonchalant about it.
I know any something like that.
Exactly.
For somebody that mattered, when people say, I now talk about it, I had a reflection, but okay, so I was not more intentional. So we don't call that trauma. Nah, I will not call that trauma. I'll just say
that one may not be trauma. It may just be your temperament. That could be temperament. It could just be the way you are wired or something.
The way I was brought up,
the way
I express love is not the way the person wants to
exactly. Could be that as well.
No steady texting, steady communication. And me, I'll tell you, I'm coming for a podcast. I'll leave by 5 o'clock. I'm like, what am I telling you?
Wow, you see?
For communication.
Communication, yes, exactly.
So
That's true.
I didn't just see a reason to do all that. So when somebody has to just tell you that this is what it is. That's the first step.
Yeah.
If you don't want to say therapy, so no people don't believe in therapy. So
we don't believe in therapy, but then we should.
Well, therapy is not necessarily going to meet a professional.
You can talk
You could talk
You can therapy yourself.
It is difficult therapy.
No, it is difficult, but that's the best way. That's why it's
not for all things.
I mean, it's important to be able to sit with yourself and assess what you're thinking. You see, like I see it's
your assessment should be biased.
Somehow I agree, but if you look at it like this, you are not what you think. Yes. So if you can go back and observe do you know that like when you're thinking, there's a part of your brain thinking, there's another part of your brain observing the thoughts.
Definitely.
Exactly. So if you can look at it from the observation part of the thought, it's difficult. I'm saying it like it's easy.
It's difficult. It's not so easy. But if you have
that's what meditation is. That's what meditation is. You step like You take steps
Yeah,
back from the
back,
noise
yeah.
in your. So you hear, do this, don't do this, do
yeah.
this. Don't. You can hear it like it's coming from two different people. So if like me, I dey assess myself a lot. Sometimes I go out at the end of the day when I lie down to come and sleep, and I say, you wronged that person that day.
Yeah.
You remember, like I came here one time and I went back home and I sent you the video. Say I dey talk anyhow. You know, like
you assess yourself based on your perspective sometimes. You
sometimes,
assess yourself, but
yeah,
it's
exactly,
based on your perspective.
yeah.
For instance, what you think good and bad is relative. So it may
Sometimes
be
when you say something, and then you hear somebody else say what you said,
it will sound.
yeah, hey, like, whoa, did I say that?
I
You
get
know,
that.
and then be like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or something,
I
you
get
know.
that.
So
Yeah.
you need, yeah.
I get that. I get that.
It's very, very deep. And those are some of the things we'll be talking about in the next edition. So I'm sure you don't want to miss it because it's going to be as juicy as today.
You shouldn't miss it for anything.
As it has been, so you shouldn't miss it for anything, like he said. So don't forget to subscribe,
Like and share.
like and share, subscribe so that you get notifications when we come out with that video, and follow us on all our social media handles in our bio. Check our bio, see all our handles there. Follow us, ping. And we'll see you next time.
Mwah.
Bye.
Hotep.